What's up, guys? Welcome back to the VAR Check Podcast, the podcast where football's biggest debates go under review. Welcome, everybody in. This is now episode 19. We're at a point, I feel like, I named this one The Calm Before the Storm. I feel like we had a fairly chill weekend, but I just know we have a whole lot of craziness ahead of us. So I want us to take this episode to kind of do a big overview of everything, all the different leagues, kind of get our predictions in for what's going to happen before things really get cracking. But welcome, guys. How are y'all? Did everyone watch the Super Bowl? I know Ricky did.
I just watched the halftime show. Did not watch any other part.
Wasn't much of a Super Bowl to watch. Yeah, wasn't much of a game to watch.
Horrendous. I mean, no touchdowns in the whole first half, and then, I don't know what y'all thought about the Bad Bunny concert and everything, but I've been actually seeing so much shit on it, people posting videos that were in the stadium, look how hype we are, and it's just literally they're all just confused as fuck as to what is going on.
I think the best part of it. It was just so cool that he showed so many parts of the Latin culture. Not that I'm an expert in that, but the Latin culture, and then the issues with Puerto Rico, and I don't know. I felt like there were so many good messages behind it.
I like the walking bushes. It felt like I was at a play in kindergarten. You come home, you're like, Mom, I gotta roll in the play. What'd you get? I'm the bush. Bush number 3.
So we know what Ricky's takeaway was.
the walking the bushes.
Literally. Now we had so we watched it separately, but then after the game we came back together and we were hanging out with Willie, another one of our good friends. So we're all hanging out in the living room here, and then suddenly we hear a loud bang. And we all look out the window what the heck was that? We thought someone was trying to walk inside to where we live. Nothing. And then we end up walking out. This drunk driver just smashed into one of our friend Willie's car. And it was chaotic. We then found out that he it was a hit and run.
He had hit 2 other cars before. Yeah. And then he went into our neighborhood, I guess trying to hide, and then hit our friend's car too. It was a mess.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is his car okay?
Did they get him?
Yeah. The cops got him.
The cops were already out there actually. When we decided to call the cops, we realized that they were already there, and we're just he's here. I felt kind of bad, but I feel in our defense, maybe we saved a life. You never know.
No, don't feel bad, dude. If he's jamming into somebody's
car, why would you feel bad?
I just felt bad when he was getting arrested. I was like, damn,
no.
Well, he wasn't feeling bad when he wasn't feeling bad when he was drinking and driving.
I get that. Anyways,
don't drink and drive, kids.
Don't drink and drive, kids. Is the message of the story. Let's get the show started. Why don't we start off with Barcelona, who had seems like another easy week. Seems like every week Barça is
just easy, dude.
Putting in good performances. You have the hope. Madridistas have the hope that this might be the weekend where another team maybe snatches up a point and lets Real Madrid cut the chase. But no, Lamine continues with the show. But one guy that really caught my attention, Amir, I want to hear what you have to say about this one.
Marc Bernal.
That was a nice goal, wasn't it?
I said it last week. I was I'm excited to see how he'll be. I mean, his prospect was great before he got injured, and he's only 18. So obviously, it's going to hinder your development a little bit. But I love seeing the fact that Hansi Flick played Tommy. The dude is 16.
Oh yeah, I don't know who the heck that was.
Crazy.
But I saw.
That is deep in La Masia. So yeah,
it was the goal was nice. This little cutback. I was like,
it's because he doesn't have a right foot to save his fucking life. But
that's fair.
Beautiful cutback. But yeah, his right foot is super weak. I don't know if y'all he tried to pass one ball later in the game and just almost a complete miss hit. But his left foot is incredible.
Dude, I had no idea how tall he actually was. There was,
He's 6'2", I think.
Showed like a camera, and he was like with the rest of like the Barca players like celebrating, and I was like, holy crap! What the fuck? He's that tall. And so honestly, he kind of gave me like some sort of like could be like future Busquets type vibes. Yeah.
I think his play style is slightly different from Busquets, but yeah, for sure, similar biology.
Similar build.
Yeah, but it was cool seeing the whole like team like celebrate. Like you could tell like they've been wanting him to like do good, like get a goal in. Or I mean, who knows what all is going on inside? But it was nice.
Yeah, like the moment he scored, all the cameras panned to like the bench when you had like Lamine Yamal celebrating with even the way Hansi Flick celebrated, it was like they all like I mean they saw it, like after his injury, and they all just kind of wanted to succeed. So the moment that he got that goal, like recognition that he's been putting in the work behind the scenes, and it was kind of nice.
We love to see it.
A wholesome moment in Barcelona.
I don't love to see it, but it was cool. Good for him.
You just love the penalties.
Another thing I don't love to see, I don't know why this is coming as a double, whatever. Another thing I don't like to see is Lamine Yamal keep scoring.
And a banger of that too. A really good goal.
Actually, I have a stat for Michel because he hates Lamine so much, but he has scored in the past 5 games straight. Actually, he's contributed and scored in the past 7 games. He scored, assisted, and then scored and assisted, and then scored in every game, sorry. So in the past 7 games. So just for the record.
I mean, it's cute in comparison to what our boy's doing over on this side. It's cute.
But are we talking about Mbappé? Is that who you're talking about? Because I would love to pull up some stats on that.
I mean, the most informed player in the world.
We can't deny that he's the most informed player.
I mean, sure, but the funniest part of all this is that before this weekend, if you take away his penalties, he's only has scored 2 more goals.
Yeah, there it is.
2 more goals from
okay, but what do you? Penalties are part of the game. Like, I don't know why we're talking about them as if they're not. And it's also not like we're getting penalties granted. Teams are diving in and they're fouling them. You got to call it, right? You still got to put it away. Look at Brahim missing in the final. He missed.
Bro, he used his wrong foot. He doesn't know how to pick a foot. That's not anybody's fault.
I mean, at the end of the day, well, I don't even know what the stat is anymore. Rodrygo probably has it. Was it 38 goals in 31 games or something like that?
Or Mbappé?
Yeah, something along those lines.
I don't know, yeah.
Got to the 50, tied Cristiano. Listen, Lamine is doing really well. At the end of the day, I think someone's clipping this and sending it to him because ever since I said Lamine hasn't been playing well, he's been doing great.
He's been ghosting.
Yeah, keep saying that.
Ever since that, he's been playing very, very well. He's been playing very well. But, at the end of the day,
no more talking about Lamine. He's doing things.
Listen, it's real cute what everyone over there at Barça thinks is happening. Again, I'm going to reiterate for like the 15,000th time, for as awful as Madrid is playing this year and as well as Barça is just steamrolling through everybody, we seem to only be 1 point behind. So let's see
how long. So I'm curious because Madrid has Real Sociedad this upcoming weekend, and I feel like that's going to be the first like real test for Arbeloa in La Liga. He's had some fairly easy opponents with, I mean, this Valencia, we'll talk a little more about Madrid. We can start segueing that way, but this Valencia team was fucking horrendous, dude. Like, they were so bad. The game was so boring. Who else have they been playing? Well, they played Villarreal. That was a tough one. So I'll give them that one in Villarreal Stadium. But I think Real Sociedad will be a good test for Madrid.
A good test.
But at the end of the day, yeah, there's I think right now there's probably around like 15 games left in La Liga, and it's a 1-point thing. And all it takes is a little switch.
I think for Madrid, like looking at their schedule, I'm excited for those 2 legs against Benfica. Again, I wouldn't have been as excited had the drama that we saw last week not have happened. I find it cool how they're matching up with them again, and let's see where it takes us.
I'm excited for that too.
We'll see. Oh, look, Barça Cico, if you love football, you know Lamine is more entertaining than the whole of the Real Madrid squad. Nah, Vini puts more entertainment, I would say.
Yeah, more drama for sure.
I mean, as much as we're into this for the entertainment, we also into this for the results as well. So Lamine can be as entertaining as he wants. You let me know when he wins the Champions League.
Whoops.
So many headlines.
I could say the same thing about Mbappé.
I mean, we're not talking about Mbappé right now. Vini's got 2.
Except that Mbappé's considerably
So
older.
are you saying Vini's so much more of an incredible player than Lamine is? He's got 2 Champions Leagues.
Your comment.
I'm just saying. For as much as everyone loves to,
he says something in rebuttal, and he's like,
so we're focusing
but
on
I'm just
this.
saying.
No, not this.
But it's either okay. Well, if we talk about who's the better player, Mbappé or Lamine Yamal, let's just talk about who's the better player.
Who's been playing? Mbappé was probably like
right
20
now.
when
Who
he
is the
started
better?
playing.
Who cares? Right now, who is the better player?
In what sense are we talking
Because
about?
Lamine could get hurt and really bad with off. Hopefully he doesn't, and his career will change forever. Okay, that's what I'm not talking about the future or before. I'm talking about right now. Right now, who is the better player?
Besides the potential issue with Mbappe's ego and the rest of the team, I have not once criticized him as a player this season.
And Lamine's ego is.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna criticize my own player.
All right, see, exactly. That's the difference, bro. We criticize our own players, bro. We're real. You guys just live in a fantasy land, which I understand, bro. I understand. The best thing you guys have done was won a league. I get it. I understand.
Well, let's see how Lamine performs, because this week Barça actually has a big game, semifinal against. Seems like my other favorite team, Atletico Madrid.
And they dropped the ball too.
They absolutely fumbled this weekend, losing.
Now I watch them just so I can be mad at you for going for them.
I don't.
Michel.
You sound like you were talking about Marseille.
Who are you rooting for on Thursday, Atletico or Barça?
I mean Atletico, but I'm not an Atletico fan. I'm just not a Barça fan. What really made me sad, I was training yesterday with my team, and they were playing a game. I don't even know if it was live. I'm pretty sure it was. And I saw that PSG just absolutely waxed Marseille 5-0. And I was just like, I remember looking up being like, fuck, dude, I'm going to have to talk about this tomorrow. Like,
that was like the nail in the coffin for Marseille. I feel like this season, after I saw the result, that's when I was like, Marseille is officially dead for the year.
Yeah, it's
I
heartbreaking.
just kept on picturing Xabi Alonso when he was on his knees after Barça beat him in the final.
That was me.
And like just knowing that like he's about to get like sacked. He's just heartbroken. But honestly, like Marseille is now 4th place in the league. And I mean, with Lyon the way they're playing now with Endrick, Lens seems to be doing pretty solid. Obviously, PSG is going to win the league. I mean, Marseille may not make it in the Champions League. And I would have never thought we'd be talking about, will Marseille make it to the Champions League next year? And if they don't, I think the whole project is cooked.
Like, they're going to crumble. Yeah. If they don't make
see.
it. I really hope they make it, honestly, just for your sake. Like,
yeah, me too.
Just to continue the trend.
Yeah, but I already started hearing that Mason Greenwood is being linked with Manchester United again, all that stuff. So I just see the team crumbling and them having to sell a lot of their players, and bye-bye Marseille for the next 5 years.
Yeah, that was so.
It was a good run.
Going back to this week's game, the semifinal, I think the best part of it is the fact that we're playing them in 2 heads instead of just 1 game, because Atletico in 1 game can pull some nonsense in a single game. But yeah,
that's a good point. Honestly, you're right. I forgot that by the semifinals they do become a 2-legged game, and yeah, if it was a one leg, that's when Atletico can really do some damage.
Well, they got to play physical. You know, at the end of the day, like Barça really struggles against teams that play. I mean, that play dirty, that hit them, that let them know, that don't just let them walk them down. I think Atletico Madrid's biggest mistake, which is probably what they're going to do, because that's Simeone's way, is just let Barça play with the ball and counter and like let them just dictate the show. If I was them, I would go after Barça, especially because it is a 2-leg game. You have the risk to be able to go one, go down, so on and so forth into the next one. Like, go after Barça. Let them know they're not just going to be able to pass the ball around in a cute way, the way they always do. Like, hit them, get some yellow cards out there, you know, do what you got to do. And might get surprised. Barça doesn't usually do well with teams that do that to them.
Are they playing in Camp Nou or Metropolitano this week?
It's Metropolitano and then Camp Nou.
Gotcha. So Atletico needs to get a solid result this week.
Yeah.
I'm hoping too with Julian Alvarez, he can start to find a freaking goal, man.
I feel like we haven't talked about him in forever.
I know.
I think he's trying to lower his price point for
I was gonna say that
from the way he's playing.
Hey, I'm gonna shout this comment out.
Yeah.
Vargas to score against Barcelona.
Yeah.
That's what we all want to see now. This is why I actually have a little place in my heart for Atleti right now. This is the reason.
That's the reason? Wasn't like you were 15 weeks ago?
But it's gonna be a good game. I'm excited to see what happens. I think Atletico, is the type of team you can never count out. Won't take them out of the top 10. They got dangerous players like Julian Alvarez. Even when he's in bad form and hasn't scored in 8 games, this is the type of game where he will show up and put an important goal. Sorloth, freaking aerial threat. Especially with Barca's like high line, like they got Atletico has some pacey players like with Simeone himself. He'd be the main one that I'd be like worried about for Barca. So we'll see. Michel, for Madrid's side, I was excited myself that Vini, Jude, Rodrygo weren't going to play. I wanted to see how the team coped without having those egos, those names. I wanted to see how Brahim was going to perform, once again, without the other names. Brahim ended up getting only like 15 minutes of playing time, which I was kind of annoyed about. And the team did not show any new signs of like just playing better or playing different. What was your take on the whole game?
I mean, everything you said. I think right now, unfortunately, Madrid just looks confused. Like they don't know what to do. They don't know, like they know how to play, right? They kind of know how to play together. They just kind of look so out of sync. And I was talking about this last night as well. I don't really want to blame Hoyson too much because it's his first season, but he was brought in to do something very specific. And it was to get that ball in through the lines, to find your playmaker, to split the defense. And I was thinking back and I was told, like, who does Madrid actually have in that position? Who's getting open? Who's making a fake run so then they can check back into the middle to receive that pass? And I think it's just a trickle down of laziness, of players just content with swinging the ball left to right and then hoping that there's a gap. Like there's no creation. Madrid just knows that they're going to roll up, most likely dominate possession, and then you have the best players in the world. So like eventually something will happen, right? Or something like Carreras like splits 4 defenders and gets a nice goal. So
that was a good goal.
It's frustrating because Madrid look like they don't know what they're doing. They look like they're just like, well, we're going to figure this out on the fly. And it sucks for Arbeloa because it's not like he has any, I don't want to say merit, but he's not putting out a game plan. Like he's not breaking anything down. He's motivating the players. I'm sure he's giving little corrections here and there when he sees them on the touchline and so on and so forth. But there is no strategy. There's no plan, which maybe that's what these players need. I don't really know.
Strategy is praise away, but at least we haven't been hearing that as much lately. Slow down.
I mean, what I do think is going to be really interesting. I mean, give Vini the break. Sure. It's good for the legs, whatever. What I am curious to see is Jude out for a month. This is finally, and I don't want to hear any more excuses from any Madrid fans or anybody. This is Arda Güler's last chance to really solidify himself. He has a month to dominate. And I don't care, Jude is either going to get his playing time or he's not. But this is your time to be the definitive, like, I am the guy. And if you don't want me, Madrid, then I'm going to leave. This is your chance. Because I really hate that in the games that I've seen out of that, he doesn't show up for the big games. Like, he has really nice assists here and there. But when you need him to show up, he doesn't really show up. And some of it you can say was, he's out of position. Okay, well, now this is you. There's no Jude. There's no complaints. Same thing that I texted you when Valverde went back into the middle. All right, you've been complaining all season, last season, and this season that you hate playing right back. You're back in the middle now.
What did you think of his game?
You can't judge him off of one game. He hasn't played the whole position for a whole year.
But did you? I mean, it was.
He's fine. He's still Valverde. I think he's not what we know him to be. But again, it's not fair of us to critique him in that way. That's like making Lamine play fullback. Like, yeah, you're still going to be up and down the line, but it's not the same thing, He just happens to be a good defender, and we don't have any. But hopefully Trent can stay healthy, and we can give him, because he hasn't really had a fair shake either. That's the issue with Madrid this year is the players they brought in haven't really had an opportunity. Like Valverde was never supposed to play right back this whole year.
It's all patched.
Carvajal and Trent got hurt.
Yeah.
So
speak now that you're bringing them up.
Considering all that, not a bad year so far.
I don't know about all that. Fuck.
I mean, considering all of that.
The fact that we're still 1 point behind Barça, we'll take that as a dub for now. But aside from that, Jesus. So there was all this drama after the game with the fact that, neither Trent or Carvajal started the game. But then on top of that, Carvajal never went in. And apparently there was rumors that, he went into the locker room. He was really upset, pissed off. And Pintos, the one of the coaches, was having to calm him down and whatever. From an outsider's, to me, whether it's true or not, Carvajal is your leader, and you don't want to be hearing that. What have we been talking about? The lack of leadership, and then we hear that Carvajal, your supposed captain, your true captain, is out here being upset because he's not getting playing time. Which I understand him not getting playing time. I mean, he's coming back from a long injury. He is the older dude. And, you got – and Arbeloa's one of his things that I will give him is he's been pushing to play more youngsters. And so he did. He saw that Trent and both Carvajal are coming from injury, and he decided to play one of the Castilla players. I thought it was fine. And I thought the Castilla player actually had a decent game. He almost scored a goal. But, Micho, what was your take when you hear all this stuff?
I mean, players are still going to be players, no matter how much of a captain they are, no matter how long they've been there. Players still want to play. Players have egos. They don't like getting on a plane, doing all the things, staying in the hotel to not play a single minute. I'm sure Arbeloa probably spoke to him during training and said, hey, I'm going to try to get you out there. But at the same time, you don't want to rush these players. How many injuries have they stockpiled up in a short amount of time? The last thing we need to do is to be Carvajal's kind of pissed. Let's just throw him out there. And then next thing you know, he hits a sprint and does something else. Same thing with Trent. Until you absolutely are 100% confident that they are ready to go, he's still not going to start over Trent, right? So I think Carvajal is hurting. He's been one of the best right backs in world football. He has, the credentials. And I think he's dealing with father time, right? And it's just unfortunately that not every player, I think maybe he feels like he got cheated out of it because maybe he felt like he wasn't done, and then there's emotions to it. I get it. He's upset, but he also is smart enough to know that he's not going to play unless they're absolutely sure. And even if they're both healthy, Trent, for me, is still the starter.
Even though he hasn't really shown us.
He hasn't shown anything.
Yeah, but he hasn't had opportunity to show.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's been injured a lot, but when he hasn't been injured, there's never really been moments where I'm like, damn,
Well, you can't say he had a terrible Club World Cup, right? That was the first sample size that we had. He had good moments. His first time putting on the Madrid jersey, that shit's heavy. He had good moments. You can see little sparks of Trent and his brilliance, but then he gets hurt. So this is not I think we got to get out of the mindset of players are going to move clubs and just start performing. This also isn't Inter Milan. When players move to Madrid and to Barça, they're not going to just start performing unless they are the top 1% best players in the world. He can be one of the best players, but you got to give players a year, bro. A year to adjust.
Agree. Even Mbappé, it took him a minute to adapt.
Yeah. It took him hitting rock bottom to be it can't get any worse than this. It might as well start getting better. And then he also didn't deal with injuries. So you got to give Trent a full season. And then in that full season, he was hurt. I think if we can get Trent at his best, it can only improve the squad because you need that style of player.
A Trent that's in his prime will help a lot of Madrid's offensive issues. It'll give a little bit more clarity. He could whip in a cross, an unexpected cross. He can provide a lot to the attack more than I really think he can provide I think he's more of an attacking player than a defensive player. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I think you find a Trent that's hits his prime, and and that's a great asset to have.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's all true things. And on top of that, we're forgetting the fact that he's English, and for some reason, English players tend to struggle adapting as well to
That's
La
true.
Liga
That's very
with the
true.
language barrier. I think culturally, like it's also very different. So those are all factors to keep in mind. But yes, I do think that we got to start seeing him improve little by little. It's already been more than half the season. And then hopefully the injuries will just stay away so he can actually get some sort of consistency.
But I actually think he's of English players coming to Spain, he's probably one of the most equipped to do it because he is a very technical player. And in some ways, I think it's easier to defend in Spain than it is to defend in England. And, I think it's two different styles. But if I was to be a defender, I would much rather defend in Spain than I would defend in the Prem. So I think that could be, I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But I think it'll be a little bit easier for him of an adjustment.
Sure.
He just needs minutes,
Yeah. Changing the topic, but staying within Madrid. I like your dad's comment here that Ramos was the last true captain, and that's really what Madrid is missing. One of the main things Madrid is missing, and I don't know who is going to step up and fill that role. I mean, Ricky is. I mean, is there anyone?
Modric did a good job,
yeah.
But I agree. Ramos was the last true captain. I think the issue is Ramos also got a little toxic at the end. Like he did not leave in the best of terms with the club. Like same with like Ronaldo. There was a little bit of a
same thing with Iker
with Florentino,
which usually comes with any big player like leaving, and especially when they get older, because they don't want to. Similar to Carvajal, they don't want to accept that the reality is that they're slowing down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I totally agree.
Amir, who do you see as like someone that could take over that role?
I mean, I think currently Valverde is probably Valverde or Courtois are your best bets. But I don't know. I don't think Mbappé or Vini should ever be all captain because it will ruin.
Definitely not Vini.
It will ruin the team. But
I like Valverde, and if you had asked me this in the beginning of the season, I like without a doubt I would say Valverde is your man. Valverde is your man. Look, I don't know the whole story. But from what I've heard, or from what I think I know with the whole Xabi Alonso thing, I lost a little bit of respect for Valverde as a captain. His persona, not his ability on the field, his persona. I think those types of traits, and again, I don't know the whole story, but are not conductive of that captain that Real Madrid needs. I think it's like for a club like Real Madrid where it's such a big emphasis and an important thing for Spain as a whole country, not just the city of Madrid. It makes more sense for a natural Spaniard, like through and through, born and raised in Spain, to be the captain. And I think Madrid doesn't have anybody, like no true prospects that are actually Spanish. So I think finding the next Ramos is very hard.
Yeah. Also, like even if you're talking about
leadership, as far as leadership goes,
even if you're talking about Modric or Marcelo, like although they weren't Spaniards, it's like they've already proven themselves. They can look at anybody and be like, "Yo, if you have any questions about my credentials, they're on the wall right behind you." So like when I tell you to do something, you do it, or you at least listen when I have to talk to you. Like, what is? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, right? It's like, what is Mbappé telling Carvajal about Champions League play? What is Vini or anybody like? Yeah, you have two, but it's like, dude, like you have to do this. Ramos was there for who knows how many years, bro. I think over 12 or something like that. And then he wasn't the captain straight away. He had to earn it. And like you said, I don't think there's a true Spaniard. I think it's Carvajal, but he's been out and all of that. Everybody else is Brazilian, French, like Courtois is Belgian. Like I think the closest besides Carvajal that plays is maybe Brahim, if I'm mistaken, right?
Carreras,
but
Carreras just got there,
No.
So it's like there is no like Rick was saying, there's no true leader. Like at Barça, you have, although he's not a Spaniard, he's been there, he's proven himself. Like Frankie De Jong, like when he speaks, people listen. I think Pedri eventually will end up being that guy for Barça.
But I think Barça has the advantage that they're all young. They've won nothing, like in the grand scheme of things. So it's like you have a coach, you have Hansi Flick, who is a strong leader because he is.
Yes.
And these kids are just like, all right, whatever he says that's the law. So
it's worked out for them.
Easier.
Yeah.
Just from being able to be more moldable, malleable.
Yeah. I agree. Well, we'll see who steps up. But if one thing is certain, Madrid is in need of a true leader, and I think until that gets fixed, a lot of the problems with the team are not going to be fixed. On top,
Asensio has his time if he can stay healthy and continue to get better
Asensio
as a player.
Has personality. I think
he's the same personality as Ramos,
but he needs the trajectory now to really kind of. And that's the thing.
Right.
I personally, before we kind of move on from this, I think actually it has to be Mbappé to step up, and I think he is. He's just needing to be at the club a little bit longer. But Mbappé has I think that personality too, where he's already captain of France. He has leadership. He just can't come in demanding stuff, even though he already kind of is to a new club, and it just takes time.
He needs to win something at Madrid before.
He needs to win something. I think the moment he wins either a La Liga, he's gonna start feeling better about like just the trophies that he's won. And then, I mean, obviously, if he were to win the Champions League, that kind of consolidates him. But until that happens, and unfortunately, I don't know if I see it happening this year. We're gonna have to probably wait a little longer. We'll see.
I think, like as far as Mbappé goes, and this is separate from Madrid, but this is just kind of tying it back to like himself at PSG. What Luis Enrique said when the moment he left, he was like, okay, now I actually have 11 dogs that will defend and listen to what I do. Press the back line, and the fact that they went out and won the Champions League like the season he left also kind of took a little bit of like my respect as far as the leadership quality for Mbappé. I don't know if y'all see it that way too.
There was an interview that they just did with the French national team coach, and I don't know exactly what interview it was. We also have to remember too, like players don't necessarily fit into systems. Like Mbappé just didn't fit into what Luis Enrique was going to wanted out of him. Doesn't mean that it can't fit anywhere else, right? And the national team coach was saying, like, listen, if you want Mbappé to run X amount of miles, kgs, whatever it is, like it's not going to happen. You can yell at him, you can talk to him one-on-one, you can praise him, you can tell him he's the best. Whatever you want to do, he's not going to do it.
Exactly. And that's what makes him a poor leader. Because he's not going to listen to the team's project.
I know, but I want to say this, and I want to preface it by saying I'm not comparing the two at all, because they're not. One is greater than the other. But if you look at Messi, they built the team around him. He wasn't running. In fact, he walked the most out of everybody. Granted, he is who he is, and I'm not saying that Mbappé is close for the Barça fans start hating. But my point is that whether you like it or not, when you decide to get that kind of player, you know what his strengths are, what his weaknesses are, and what he brings to your team. So if you're saying, I want a team that's going to press out like Luis Enrique wants, and you want dogs from the front, then you don't get Mbappé. It's simple as that. There's plenty of other strikers out there that are great. But if you want Mbappé, you got to figure out a way to cater things to him and to his liking, because he is that level of player. And it's exactly what the French national team did. They won a World Cup and they made it to a second final. So it really is just depending on the system, So you got to know the players that you have.
I like this. I like this comment by Barcico a lot. Look at Rafinha. He was experimented and no one trusted him until he proved his worth and won something. Then he was captain at some points, and he actually was carrying the team. Which Rafinha is a guy that Ricky and I have been talking a lot about recently, and how much leadership qualities he really brought to Barca. How much he changed in like a span of a year. He was this close to leaving Barca. Flick came in, he empowered him a little bit, and then Rafinha has been one of the true leaders I've ever seen.
Yeah. Which goes to show, like, it's you don't always need that like Spaniard blood, right, to be a good leader. And honestly, whenever you brought up the Messi comment, I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but I honestly don't think Messi was a strong leader. Up until the end of his career, I think he gained some like leadership quality, especially with the Argentinian national team. But I really don't think Messi was a great leader. A great
In that
captain.
Barça, it was always Puyol, Busquets, Piqué,
Xavi.
Xavi. I
And
mean,
the
Iniesta
the
was a little more
moment
quiet, but
Xavi
I'm
and
sure
Iniesta
Iniesta
were
obviously.
gone, we struggled with that leadership.
Well, I don't think we were talking about Messi being a leader. I was just making the comparison because
Okay.
we're talking about how players don't. They're not going to run and bust ass to defend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just the way their play style is. Same thing with Messi. Like, Messi was not a leader. It was like, moments of brilliance that he has, but he's not defending, right?
Yeah.
And to your point, like, if you watch interviews and podcasts with players that played with Messi, like one of them, my favorites, is the Kevin Prince Boateng.
Yeah,
They're like,
I love that.
dude,
Yeah.
like literally, he's in the locker room. He's on his phone when the coach is talking. He goes out, does a couple passes, crossbar challenge, is on the phone texting when everyone is listening. He goes out, scores 3 goals, and that's like no one. And he said no one else can do that in the gym. And we're talking about Dembele and Barça. It's like he was saying all these players are trying to do what Messi did, and it's like you just can't. Like, right? Like, it's just
like he could pull it off, but he was a bad example.
Right. And it's just like you don't take, as a professional, you don't take what he does and do it in practice, because you will never have Messi's left foot and you will never be Messi. You know what I mean? And I think, to your leadership point, like, I don't think anyone thought he was a leader. They just knew that he was the best. So they were like, all right, like, Messi's quiet and he's not really going to do anything but give him the ball. Like, that's where he showed his leadership.
Yeah, but like if you're a youngster, you're Ansu Fati.
But look at what happened to Ansu Fati. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Club, like, you're coming in and at least I'm expecting that the best player in the world, the best player of the team that's been there since day one, is going to be the leader. And I think that's one of the attributes he lacked. And again, I love Messi. It goes without saying.
Same thing with Cristiano, though. I don't think Cristiano was necessarily would have been a great captain. I know he wore the armband a couple times. Like, the best player doesn't mean you're always.
I think he was a much better
But
captain.
discipline was good. Like, I mean,
of course. I mean, he's the ultimate professional.
He led by example, whereas like we were talking about Messi's qualities, where he would just kind of do whatever. He didn't really lead by example. He was just pure talent and will go do things.
Being a captain at Madrid, Barcelona for your national team is a lot more than just leading by example in the training room and in the gym. Like, it's a lot of different things altogether. So I'm saying, I don't think, for example, Cristiano was a great captain either. And it shouldn't always be the best player. The best player on your team is certainly not always a captain. You know what I mean? Like, that's Puyol for your guys' example. Like, he was an amazing center back. I don't think he's maybe top 3 of all time, but like, he's one of the best center backs to ever play, and he's one of the best captains ever. You know what I mean? Like, it just really comes down to personality and how much weight your word carries in the team.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Well, let's I want to move away from Madrid and Barça. We have this comment here, so I want everyone just to answer with a yes or a no. That's all you get, and then we're gonna move on. Right. Should Vini be sold this summer?
Yes.
Ricky?
I'm biased. Obviously, I'm gonna say yes.
Michel?
I think it's time.
Okay, we're moving on. Very good.
Wait, you didn't answer.
I say yeah. I say yes.
What about this one? The Cancelo should start before Koundé.
Hell no.
I like Koundé. I
don't think so.
Solid.
I don't think so.
I mean, Cancelo's a great player to have. In case either any one of them are hurt or need a break, Cancelo can take the job and do just fine. But I mean, Cancelo's more attacking. So it's like if we're already having defensive issues, Cancelo's not the solution. Koundé is more of a defensively minded, even though he still gets a lot of assists. But
I think Cancelo's been a great addition to the team. But yeah, not starter.
Do you think Araujo win by the end of the year? Like, let's say you guys make a deep run in Champions League, or the league comes up to the very end between both of our teams. Do you think Araujo wins back his starting spot, or is he going to be on the bench for the rest of the year?
I think this year he might be a super sub.
Yeah, go for the mirror.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I don't think this year is gonna be the year he comes back as a starter. I think he'll still play in some important games, but I don't think he's gonna replace Cubarsí or Gerard Martin. But
or even Eddie
Eric Garcia,
so much.
who's been so good.
Mm-hmm. I would have never thought I'd be saying that.
Yeah,
I
has
think
played every position. Sorry, Ricky, I'm done. I swear I'm done.
No, you're good. I think Araujo. Look, just to never say never, but I don't think he'll ever be like a true starter for Barcelona.
Yeah.
I think
that's a hot take right there.
I think he's got great qualities. but at the end of the day, in the big matches, he slips up.
So then why keep him?
He's cost us a lot of important.
He's a good rotation player.
Yeah, but you can. But you can get another great rotation player, one that doesn't.
But it's not that easy to have someone that you've already like built up and like he knows the club. Like if he's a good rotation player, I don't think that's the means to just be like sell him and let's get someone else. I mean,
but
if he was performing
I also
really
think that's
bad,
the problem. I also think that's the problem at times with both of our teams. Like we hold on to players longer than we need to. Like I don't necessarily agree with how the Prem does it all the time. With like,
I don't know if Barca has the luxury to just be like selling and buying players.
Well, that's the difference. I mean,
selling, yes. Buying, no.
Anyways, let's move away from Madrid and Barça. I just want to, Fadza, thank you for your comments. Appreciation post. Keep it up, lads. Fun to listen to you guys. Interesting convos and nice interaction too from the chat. Ala Madrid. And that goes to highlight essentially I think the most favorite thing that we have from like the podcast, which is being able to not just us talk about this, but share the conversation. I try to keep you guys like, involved in the conversation as much as possible. So the more you interact, the happier, the better the stream goes. So thank you and shout out to all of you guys. So I want to actually move on to the Premier League. I feel like
I did too.
This weekend had a really good game, in my opinion. Probably one of the games of the season, which was that Manchester City Liverpool match. Maybe the whole game wasn't amazing, but the ending, those last 25 minutes were incredible. With first Szoboszlai scoring that banger of a free kick, and if you haven't
he's
seen
so
it,
good, man.
Look it up. That
he's
shit,
he's good.
like he hit that with the knuckles so well. The way that, like Ricky, when we were watching it together, Ricky literally thought it hit off the wall and went in, and then we saw the replay, and it was like, nope, that ball just moved positions. An insane goal, and honestly, we both thought that Liverpool was going to take away the 3 points.
Yeah.
Open up the gap with Arsenal even more it would have been to 9 points that City lost. And then City not playing great. I feel like Liverpool was still the better team that whole game, but brought it back. It was Bernardo Silva who keeps scoring even at, I feel like he's been playing with City for a long time now.
Yeah.
Scoring. And then I'm forgetting who scored the other one.
Haaland on the penalty.
It was Haaland.
Penalty. And then Turkey had
yes, that's right.
Had
The penalty.
rule.
And then that's what I was going to bring up. Did everyone see the controversial ending? Just in case anyone in the comments or in the watching didn't see what happened in the last plays of the game. In the last play of the game, well, they ended up adding like 7 minutes. It was like plus 10 at this point. Alisson, the Liverpool goalkeeper, is already all the way in the other box trying to score a corner. City gets a counter, and the controversial play was that they shot from half field, and that race from Haaland and Szoboszlai himself too to try to catch the ball before it went in and crossed the line was insane. Seeing Haaland's speed was like he was a monster.
He was a train.
Absolutely beat Szoboszlai in that race, and then Szoboszlai pulls his jersey. Haaland continues going. He does not stop, even though he did get slowed down. And then Szoboszlai was actually going to get to the ball. Haaland pulls on his jersey as well. They both he ends up falling, doesn't get to it. The ball goes in, and the controversial thing was that they ended up calling the goal, even though the ball went in. They called the goal. They called it back, and then gave Szoboszlai the red card. So it was just a hectic moment, but I think it was actually the right call, as crappy as it was.
Yeah, I agree. Like if you look at the rule book, and there's a foul first from Szoboszlai and then from Haaland, and then the ball goes in. Obviously, you have to go back and review it, and the best thing to do was give the red card. However, I think if I were the ref, I would just let that goal stand and just I know technically I'm in the wrong, but it's my decision as a ref, and I just give the goal. I mean, they both committed the same foul. Like the only reason Haaland was forced to foul Szoboszlai was because Szoboszlai fouled him first.
Yeah.
The also took advantage and called it a goal.
Go ahead, Amir.
I was just gonna say it's also it evened out. Like there was no point it's probably not the.
But
right
imagine
call,
if the game is 1-1.
Yeah.
But I don't think that.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, it was 2-1 at that point already.
Nothing would have changed though.
It doesn't matter.
Still went in.
Yes, but if the game was tied 1-1, you calling that back to give the red card, which is the right call. I mean,
But I think
you could also make the argument that he should have let played advantage.
Well, right, that, and then on top of that, if I remember correctly, it wouldn't have stopped the goal from happening either way, right?
Well, no, because Haaland fouled Szoboszlai.
First?
If Haaland doesn't foul
Second.
Szoboszlai, he gets to the ball. So that's why
But Szoboszlai fouled him first.
Exactly.
So then you play advantage for City, and in that advantage,
the
ball
foul
goes in.
So the reason you can't play advantage was because Haaland did commit a foul.
I mean, I don't know.
It's a really tricky one, which is why I thought it was interesting.
Interesting. I mean, you know how VAR is. They're going to look at every little detail. I mean,
They have to.
it's a fun game, but I don't really think it does anything in the grand scheme of the league. Although
I think it does because now City is not 9 points away. Well, okay, that call didn't make a difference, right? But this game is huge because if City would have been 9 points away, honestly, I think we can call the Prem. I have been saying Arsenal's going to win it. This is a year that they don't choke, so I don't care that it's 6 points. But at the end of the day, like a 6 point difference compared to a 9 point difference is still fairly significant.
With one game to play as well, right?
I
think
they're both on 25.
I'm saying they still have to play each other one more time.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah. And so City wins that game, 3 point difference.
Then Arsenal feels the pressure.
Arsenal feels the pressure. It's City turning that game around could make the complete difference.
I'm telling you this right now. If they keep it to 6 points or below, but let's just keep it 6 because it's now, by the time they play each other, and if Man City wins whoever wins that game will win the Prem, I think. If they keep it within 6, because I can almost guarantee you, if it gets within 3 towards the end of the season, Arsenal's going to feel the pressure and they're going to choke. And Man City knows that they just need to continue to do what they do. Forget the Champions League because they're not going to win it. You know what I mean? And you just go full force there. If it's within 6 or below, whoever wins that game will win the league.
It's in April, that match. So
exactly.
It'll be good.
It's going to come down to the wire.
I disagree. I think Arsenal, win or lose that game against City, will win the Prem. I don't see the City team being as consistent as the previous Cities from past 5 seasons. They're a completely different team. They really switched up the whole squad, and they don't have.
You also have to remember, bro.
Mentality.
Arsenal also has Champions League to play for, bro. It's these games where they're playing and focusing on Champions League that it's hard to play against teams like Wolves, and you just let something happen. You know what I mean, like, let's not forget that they are going to be pulled in so many different directions. A lot can happen.
I think Arsenal chokes the Champions League. They don't choke the Prem. We'll see. A lot can happen. I do agree that this can go many different ways. Furthermore, so within the Prem, Manchester United, they're 1 game away from that famous 5-win streak.
Yeah.
It would be typical then to lose it.
I think they play against
Tottenham, no?
It's West Ham. Well, they played against Spurs this weekend, but their next game is against West Ham. And I mean, they're 4th place. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Tomorrow,
they fired their coach. They even though we said it, like, they were still not in a bad Premier League position, but Carrick has come in, and it's similar to Arbeloa. It's hard to say like it's because of him that they're doing good, but hey, at the end of the day, they've beat City in this 4-win streak. They've beat City, they beat Arsenal, they beat Spurs. That's 3 Champions League teams right there. Shout out to them.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I don't like Man U, but I also am not against seeing them get that final, like that 5-game win streak for finally after who knows how many years. So we'll see. Arsenal won their game 3-0, but I think the big thing here is it didn't happen this weekend, but Mikel Merino, his injury, he had surgery, and he's probably out for the rest of the season. If not, will come back towards the very end. That could be a big loss for Arsenal. That could make, points to your argument, Michel, that it could bottom. I think Merino was a huge player for them.
We're going to see what happens again. I think the league is very long. They have the league to worry about. They have Champions League to worry about. I don't know if any domestic cup they're still involved. It always comes down to the end. Like I was saying, if if City drops 2 games and it becomes like a 9-10 point gap, then yes, we call it. That's what I'm saying. By April, when they play each other, 6 points or below, whoever wins that game wins the league.
Well, yes, I do agree. Villa tied their game. Oh, okay. So let's start bringing back the power rankings, because I think it's time to make some big changes with everything that's happened. We didn't have time to do it last week, and we gave Villa the go ahead on the top 10 because we wanted Inter out. We were kind of feeling hot, but I don't know. They tie their game this week. I don't know.
We or you.
I wanted to take. I didn't want to take Inter out. It took a lot for me to put Villa in, but I said that was the only team that I was willing to put in. I don't know. I don't know if they deserve to stay in there. They tie their game this week. On the other hand, Inter Milan has continued winning. We can look to see other teams, but I think that's a big question mark. However, that's not really who I wanted to focus on, because I personally think Madrid is ranked too high now.
Yeah, I think City for sure over Madrid. I don't know if I'd put Chelsea over Madrid,
would say Liverpool is even. I know City won this weekend.
Liverpool played good though. They played good.
Their position in the table in the league is not great, but in the Champions League it was great. There's definitely between that 5 to 8 position, I think changes need to be made.
Atletico over Madrid.
Atletico over Madrid. Not unless they go and beat Barça, then shit, maybe we can start considering things like that. But no, especially not after they lost this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I would put. How far back do I want to push Madrid back?
I know you're not putting that.
I think City goes to number 5. At the end of the day, City's still ahead of Chelsea and Liverpool in the Prem, even though in the actual Champions League, both of them finished ahead of City, which is something to consider.
I still think on a head-to-head, City would beat both of them too.
Mm-hmm. Chelsea and Liverpool?
Yeah. I mean, they did.
We're putting City at 5th. The question here is, how far back do we kick Madrid?
8th?
Are we kicking them back behind Chelsea and Liverpool?
Behind Chelsea, though? No way. You're being emotional, bro.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You were emotional bringing Aston Villa in, and 1 week later you're saying that was a mistake, bro.
Well, no, okay. Well, let's recap Madrid's last month. A loss to Albacete, Benfica. What else?
And then they've had some good wins against La Liga teams. But scraping them. They're always scraping victories.
If Madrid, let's just put it out there, and I want you to be honest. If Bayern had fumbled and Madrid had won, and they were second in Champions League, are you moving Madrid to second over Bayern?
No.
Okay, then
I'm not basing it off of the fact that I'm not basing this off of the fact that Madrid fumbled their Champions League against Benfica and now finished 9th. I'm basing this on the fact that Madrid has been scraping victories for the past not just month, but 2 months. They got eliminated from Copa del Rey. I mean, you have to consider the fact, you have to factor in the fact that, yes, the Champions League was fumbled partially. They've sacked their fucking coach. They're a fucking mess, man. They're not. Can they beat Chelsea? Can they beat Liverpool on a specific week? Sure. But right now, I think if Madrid were to play against Chelsea 10 times, I think Chelsea wins more than Madrid does. And I would say the same thing against Liverpool. Shit, Liverpool already beat Madrid this season. I just think I don't think Madrid has.
Okay, well, Chelsea also beat Barça. So then, what are we saying too?
Right, but
Chelsea destroyed Barça.
It gives Chelsea credit.
Right. So then, why is Chelsea not in 5th or 4th?
Well, that's what I'm arguing. I'm saying Chelsea goes probably to 6th.
But why do they not go above Barça? They destroyed
because
Barça.
They're 6th place in the Premier League, and Barça.
Yeah, they also
like you said, everything seems to be going easy for Barça.
Barca's playing very well. Too. Yes, their game against Chelsea was not good. They lost 3-0. But I also do think that if Barca plays against Chelsea again, It's not a 3-0 score. It's going to be a very close game. Could Chelsea still win here and there? Sure. Could Barca go and beat them in Stamford Bridge? I think they definitely could.
Well, of course they definitely could. It's just about whether we put our money on who it is. We know we didn't think that we're going to win 3-0 or whatever the scoreline was. I still take Chelsea over Barca right now.
That's crazy.
Barca's beating I'm not talking about Madrid because at this point we're talking about Barca rolling through teams in La Liga. Like, who the fuck is Mallorca? Yes, they're winning 3-0 against Mallorca, but Chelsea is playing Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City.
Dude? Like,
I'm not talking about Madrid. We're talking about Barca.
Okay.
And Chelsea. Chelsea has to play against Man City, against Arsenal, against Liverpool, against Manchester United, like against Tottenham, against all these teams that are doing really, really well, or against Aston Villa, or whoever's in fourth, West Ham, Aston Villa. And Barca's got to play Madrid, Atletico de Madrid, and like the random team that gives us trouble. For some reason, for Madrid, it's Rayo Vallecano, and for Barca, it's like Celta or whoever it is. Like, you're comparing the leagues in the head-to-head. I mean, I think that's why they ended up destroying Barca. Actually, you can argue that Chelsea's a better team. They have a harder league to play in.
Look, I will agree that Chelsea needs to be higher on this table, and I think that them and Barca are maybe right there. Me, myself, right now, I would give Barca the go-ahead over Chelsea.
Where's Pricey when I need him, bro?
He's right here. He just got in. He just logged in.
Look at that. Pricey put Barca ahead of Chelsea. You have a Chelsea fan putting Barca ahead of them.
Pricey, bro. I don't know if you just listened, bro, but I literally just defended you.
I love how he asked for Pricey and Pricey fucking delivered.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, we talk about head to head, bro. Right?
Okay, look, I'm gonna make these changes here. I'm kicking my lead back because they fucking deserve it, and it's just the truth.
Did Atletico Madrid beat Madrid, right, this year?
Yeah. They have.
So then why not put Madrid at 9?
Because that's not the fucking logic I'm going for.
What is the logic? I'm so confused. What is the logic?
The head-to-head plays a role. It plays a role into the decision-making. But I'm looking at the season overall. Atletico Madrid beat Madrid already in La Liga. But Atletico Madrid is also losing and tying all the time. They're super inconsistent.
Look at Barca Zico's comment. Look at Barca Zico's comment. Madrid lost to Albacete, right? A second division team. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when are we applying certain games that we take in, certain games we take out, how they do in the Champions League?
We're factoring it all in. It's not a one-time thing.
I think it's interesting that we're kicking Madrid from 5th to 8th over 1 week. I think it's wild. Like, to move that much,
we hadn't moved it around a lot.
Then let's factor in the 2 months. They lost to Barcelona, lost the final to Barcelona. Obviously, Albacete, Benfica, sacked manager, all these injuries.
Then why put them? So then why put them in the top 10? Then why put them in the top 10?
Okay,
they're still
like
you're acting emotional.
My argument and taking it all the way to Antarctica.
But that's what I'm saying. We're talking about how shitty they've been for 2 months.
5th to 8th.
How shitty they've been in the grand of being the top 5 teams in Europe. Madrid is not a top 5 team in Europe right now. You cannot tell me Madrid is a top 5 team in Europe.
I don't think they're the 9th best team in Europe either.
8th. They're 8th.
So 8.
You have them at 9th.
I agree. They're not 9th. Atletico's the 9th best team.
Oh, I see. I mean, we're gonna see, right? We're gonna see. I still think that's too low. I think we give a lot of teams a lot of credit where they have 2 good weeks and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, they shoot right up the ladder.
Okay, let me ask you, where do you want Madrid?
I don't even know anymore because we base it off of so many different things. And I'm saying, if we're talking about what Ricky said over the last 2 months, right? That they lost and they lost and they lost and they lost and they lost to a second division team. If that's the logic we're using, then why are they in the top 10?
No,
and I know the answer,
because they're still 1 point behind Barca.
So then why are they not? So then why are they so much farther behind Barca?
But the two
because y'all fumbled Copa del Rey. You're not
because in between Madrid and Barca, there's a whole other plethora of teams that are better than them.
Yet
that
we're
are
only
performing
1 point.
better.
Yet we're only 1 point behind Barca, and there's a plethora of teams
But
better.
also that 1 point I think is deceiving because Madrid has scraped victories, dude.
So then, what does that say about Barca? Then what does that say about
We
Barca?
started off really bad. Our beginning to the season was horrendous. Y'all remember that big old gap y'all had on us?
Yes.
And then when the trouble started in Madrid, and that's why that gap is like that. Barca in the beginning, realistically, was like an 8.
We were lower than Madrid at the beginning on the
when the ranking started, Barca was lower than Madrid.
It's a shifting thing. You got to consider the season, and then the changes are the past few weeks.
When we started the season, we had to really base on the head-to-heads because that's the data that we had. But now we have a data of like more than half a season, and that's what I argue. The data over the season shows that Madrid has been having a poor season, and poorer than Chelsea, poorer than Liverpool, who's also having a poor season, in my opinion. And that's why right now Madrid is 8th. Maybe they go and they beat Benfica, they pair up against City, and they fucking go and beat City, and then we change it up. But right now, I don't think Madrid would beat City in the Champions League tie. I really, or at least they would not be the favorites. But that's the thing with Madrid. You can never count them out because they are Madrid, and that's why we fucking love Madrid.
But I think that's always the narrative that Madrid are never the favorites, and somehow they end up winning, right? They somehow end up pulling it out
because they have Mbappé.
Because they have a game-changing player like that.
Who scores perfect penalties.
Is PSG still third?
Nah.
Is PSG still third?
PSG right now, I think, is still third. I would keep putting Arsenal and Bayern. They're having better seasons than PSG, even though PSG is still being pretty solid.
Where did PSG finish in the Champions League? Can you remind me?
19 or something like that. I don't know. 11.
I mean, I can make the argument.
They finished 11th. They finished 11th.
I can make the argument that Barca is, but I would take Barca over PSG. You can make the argument.
I think you could argue.
Look at the league that PSG plays in.
I think you can argue that. Bring up the argument. I would not be. I mean, if you
you
can make the argument that Barca could go third over PSG. You can make that argument.
Right, but you were so quick to say nope.
No. Here I am saying yes.
I don't know. It's very interesting. This comment here, Michel, you keep bringing up the 1 point difference between last Supercopa, you are the Copa del Rey, and you are in the play. Okay, again, back to what I've said and we've said before. It's one or the other, right? It's either Madrid is doing so horrendous, they lost this, they lose that, they're playing like shit, they sacked their manager. Then what? Again, what does that say about Barca then?
No.
I don't know what you're trying to.
He's saying the reason Barca
there's such a dramatic difference between Madrid and Barca right now.
Problems with this killer named Kylian Mbappé that is putting makeup on the issue. Madrid's got a black eye, but with enough makeup on applied by this Kylian Mbappé, you can go out in public and not raise too many eyebrows.
It's a 1 point. It's a 1 point league, but it's very deceiving right now. That 1 point is very deceiving.
I don't think there's as big of a gap between Barca and Madrid as we all think there is. Only time will tell. But Madrid beat them in the Bernabeu, and then you guys beat us in Saudi or Riyadh, or wherever the hell they were playing. And it wasn't a blowout like everyone said it was going to be. Everyone said Barca was going to win 4-1, and it wasn't
against
that
who?
either.
Madrid?
Against us.
There he goes, Amir. It wouldn't be a podcast without Amir's phone going off.
It was doing so well for 1 hour.
But Michel, that game, that Barca Madrid game, it was a crazy game of emotions. You remember the ending of that first half where I'm pulling it up here.
Which game?
Scores, or Vini scores, then Lewa scores, then Gonzalo scores, all within the last 2 minutes. It was a crazy game. But if you remember, Barca played a lot better than Madrid.
I understand.
Yes, blowout.
But they also, I understand, but they also played completely different than they played. I understand. They played better. They also played completely differently against Barça in that game than they did the first time around. In Madrid, how many? There are 2 goals or 1 goal that Mbappé got taken off in that game where we should have scored more. Right? So I'm saying, I'm not saying and I'm not doubting that Barça is better than Madrid right now. I'm just saying I don't think the gap is as big as we're trying to make it seem. And that's all I'm trying to say. It seems like Barça, like if we're going to put them at 3rd, sure. If they're the 3rd best team in the world and Madrid is 8th, like I think that's ridiculous.
I don't know if it's ridiculous.
I mean, again, time will
I think
tell.
it's just a representation of the season. This is not a representation of how big is Madrid compared to Barça. It's a representation of how their season is going in comparison relative to all the other top European teams.
It's also, keep in mind, it's also a dynamic table. Like we've been changing it every week. Like it's not like nobody is to say that Madrid is going to stay in 8th place next week.
Yeah,
Well,
I think we need to
more
see
than,
a
more
little
than likely they'll stay there. But you know what I mean. Like it can change if they, as Rodrygo said, they beat Benfica, they beat City, and then we all wake up from the dream and be like, woohoo, that didn't happen. But yeah, so.
Whoa, that didn't happen. That was crazy, Amir. So Amir just has these fucking one-liners.
It's okay. They're still in the dream and the fantasy that they're actually going to win a Champions League anytime soon. So I understand.
And
I mean,
Pricey,
again, we're
Pricey
gonna
over
see.
here was also having a stroke. Somebody, can you highlight that comment? The one
Which one?
from, it's like Chelsea would beat Barca, City would beat Barca would
Jesus
beat.
Christ.
It's like it's just beat. Anyway,
That's probably how we sound right now.
Yeah.
Yo, you gotta love Michel's passion for Real Madrid, absolutely, and it will always be there.
Well, we will highlight that, Michel. I applaud you for defending and pushing for Madrid even during these tough times. I love Madrid.
Someone's got to.
I speak what I see when in terms of I have to be a little neutral when I make these rankings, and that's just the position where I currently see Madrid. That doesn't mean I don't love Madrid. That doesn't mean I won't stop supporting them when they play against Barça, when they play against City, when they play against Chelsea. I'm a fucking go for Madrid and bleed for Madrid every time. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to sit here and say that they're the 4th, the 5th best team in Europe when I don't actually think that right now.
We'll see.
We're all gonna end this podcast and cry a little or something.
I think this is good. There's a lot of clippable moments in this.
I cannot believe that we're at 1 hour and 7 minutes. Last time I looked at the freaking clock, we were at 45 minutes. And we're an hour and 8 minutes in. That's crazy. We went on a major rant, but I love it. I think this is exactly what this podcast is all about. That is it right there. Ricky needs to be in more reaction games. He's been in a 3-week rotation, so it has been a little finicky for him.
I thought you were gonna say he's been in a 3-way for the way you started that sentence.
in a 3-way for 3 weeks.
He's doing that after this.
And I also do agree with this comment from Pricey. The gap from 3rd to 8th is tiny. We're squeezing a lot of talent, and we just have to put them somewhere. But that's what we're saying. Like in any given week, the 8th team can be the 3rd place team, but that's just the ranking that I would give them in right now.
Okay, one last thing: are we keeping Aston Villa inside that?
Nah, Inter's got to come back.
It was a nice run. It was a nice run for.
It was a solid 2
Okay,
weeks.
how about one more week?
I mean, we can, but we know where they're going to end up out of the top 10. It's like we hadn't moved it around for weeks. We'd been waiting for the Champions League to return, and I think we were just itching to move someone around, and Inter got that backlash. But at the end of the day, Inter is a top 10 team. Inter finished 10th place in the Champions League. They're 1st place in Serie A. If they play head to head, can Aston Villa beat them a few times? Maybe, but
look at the most recent comment. You guys got fans yearning, needing you. You got to give them and deliver. Not that one.
you guys upload reactions to games again. Look, right now, personally, I've been going through a lot of like career things. I'm literally starting a business. I'm changing, like in the process of changing like clinics, like where I'm work. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And so I'm having to balance a lot of things. And right now I'm prioritizing the big games for Madrid, the big games. If they play against Atletico Madrid, if they play against Barça, if they play against City, big games in the Champions League, of course.
And I've been traveling a lot. Like I honestly have been this year more away from home than actually at home. So it gets a little tricky for me. But we do want to. We will, like, we were just talking about this this past weekend, how this is when the season really heats up. And this is when the big games start happening. And this
plus
is
the World Cup.
Like, really
plus the World Cup.
Push out for those reaction videos.
Yeah.
Sometimes we skip the Barça Elche, the Madrid Leganés games from time to time, but the big games are coming.
We can't wait for the desmadre that Ricky brings to the videos.
Desmadre, sí. I do think, Villa is going to end up leaving. Whether we do it now or next week, it's going to happen. Let's leave him another week, and then next week we can take him out.
Beautiful. Hopefully Inter will lose this week. So.
RIP.
Okay,
RIP.
let's open it up to two questions, and then we'll sign off.
Make them count.
Just make sure you're there for Benfica knocking out Madrid. Nah, that won't happen. Let's see. Barça Cico. Should Barça sign a new striker?
I mean, sure, but I don't know if you have money to buy anyone really valuable.
That I want to clip and throw up. That's a sincere answer from a Barça fan.
I mean, it's a good question though, because Lewa, in my opinion, he's at a stage where we have to start phasing him out. He's not playing as well as he was last year. He's still good. He still deserves probably the starting role. Ferran Torres is having a really good season, but I think he's shown us that he's not our final striker that we will depend on for the next few years. He's still a great Barca player, great rotational player. Like, you want him in your team, but he's not going to be the forward that you build a team around.
Yeah.
But we're kind of in this middle limbo of, like, we got two good forwards. Adding a third one is adding a headache to the team. I don't know if we're ready yet to have that signing. I think
it has to happen.
If we sign a striker, one's got to go, which would be Lewa.
Lewa, this is the time. There's always that little weird like transition period, but this is it, because you don't want to wait till the season where Lewa ends up either just getting injured or his form completely drops off. This is that perfect transition ground where I'm like, this summer, Barca should sign a striker.
Did he re-sign a contract for 2 years, or was it for 1 year only last year when he signed?
Lewa? I think Lewa's on a 1 year recall.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously there's a lot of talks about Julian Alvarez being the guy to replace him. I don't think it'd be for free. Julian Alvarez's contract has got to have more years, and also I don't think Atletico would sell him for cheap. So that is the other thing to consider. Who it would be? Would it be Julian Alvarez or someone else?
I personally want someone a little bit like a different profile compared to Julian, because I think we have Rafinha, we have Lamine, and Ferran. Like, we need a little bit of a different profile, but there's not that many strikers available with that profile that I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone like Haaland or like Balotelli.
I feel like Osimhen, he's someone that the world forgot about, and I'd like to see him in a top 10 team.
Hendrick? Okay.
I'm 10.
Well, I'll let y'all think about it, and we can reconvene about who the best one be. I think Julian Alvarez would actually slot in really well, but we'll see. Misha, I love your dad's comment. This is gonna be our final one. If you could poach one player from each other's team, excluding Mbappé and Yamal, who would you poach? Ricky, you're up.
Excluding those two players, so not
right.
them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's easy for us.
I do know.
I mean,
I think I'm wearing the jersey of the person y'all are gonna pick, both Rocks and Michel.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to think. It sounds like y'all got answers. I'm gonna have to think.
Okay.
Go, Rocks.
Wait, Rodrigo, we should say ours at the exact same time and see if
Yeah, go.
3, 2, 1. Pedri.
Yeah. We have Madrid is struggling in the middle. They need someone who can create, who can control the middle, who can dictate the pace. Unfortunately, they have 2 CDMs trying to do that. And I think Madrid needs someone, and Guller is not. Obviously,
He's not it.
He's not it. He's a great player. I just don't think he's at that caliber, and Pedri has shown that he is. I would take Pedri. I think we both would take Pedri.
I would take Carreras.
Interesting. You think Carreras is better than Balde?
I don't know if he's better, but I would enjoy
Better
having
for
him.
you.
I would take Courtois.
That's a great
I
answer.
don't like him as a person, but he's a damn good goalkeeper.
Courtois is a game changer. He'll win you a Champions League. Y'all could potentially finally win a Champions League with him.
He could. I mean, the defensive error that we still have, Courtois might bail us out.
Araujo is crazy.
I honestly thought one of y'all was going to say Valverde.
I would, but where would we put him?
Well, where? Yeah, where? I mean, he would play. He'd play for sure. But
yeah, you can put him in many positions. He can play.
I know, but I'm saying
other
like
than
where
center
do we?
man, he can play right back. He can play even right wing and provide a lot.
Where do we need him?
You don't want Brahim, bro?
Dude, I would as a Barca fan, I would never take Vini, Bellingham, Mbappé. Yeah, any of those. I don't want any of them ever.
No, the comment.
Anyways, that was a great question. I love it.
He's got jokes.
But that being said, guys, this has actually been the longest podcast we've ever had. 1 hour and 17 minutes is crazy. We've had a phenomenal time. Appreciate every single person that tuned in, that sent their comments. Thank you for all the interaction. Ricky, Michel, Amir, thank you for yet again another solid podcast. We had a phenomenal time. And with that being said, we conclude episode 19. We're going to get to episode 20 next week, which is crazy. Look forward to seeing you guys. And peace out.